The four 19th century bells from the old Hevelin Hall Tower are once again ringing loud and clear across Purdue's West Lafayette campus. A huge crane carefully placed them on top of the new Purdue Bell Tower, which is located between the Elliott Hall of Music and the Wetherill Laboratory of Chemistry. This new addition to the campus skyline became a symbol of success in 1995. The 160-foot tall tower was largely funded through an anchor gift from the class of 1948. The tower was dedicated in October.
And now the Purdue Tower takes its place on our campus as a wonderful new landmark, a symbol that bridges the years between those expectant young men and women of a century ago and those of us who followed to shape today's world.
This tower is symbolic of the best of Purdue. It is symbolic of the soaring spirit of this university. It is a landmark for the community, and it is the centerpiece of our new master plan campus redevelopment.
Also completed in 1995 was the 65,000 square foot addition and renovation of Lynn Hall, home of Purdue's School of Veterinary Medicine. This marked the first update of Lynn Hall since it was built in 1959. The renovation provides extra classroom space, increased hospital room, and more research and office facilities. With the help of animals benefiting from the improvements, the facility was dedicated in September.
As students, this new educational facility and teaching hospital allows us the opportunity to build each of our veterinary careers with the very best materials possible. We students have the materials necessary to build and produce the best veterinarians the profession can offer.
The new Grant Street parking garage was finished in time for fall semester. It has almost 1,500 parking spaces, which more than doubles its old capacity. A new sculpture titled The Way It Was unveiled in the Class of 1950 lecture hall during Gala weekend. The 700-pound bronze sculpture, created by J. Seward Johnson, Jr., was later moved to its permanent location in the building's second-floor foyer. Construction was started in the fall on a new mall near Stewart Center. The former parking area will feature trees, brick walkways, and an outdoor teaching area. In May, Purdue North Central dedicated the third major building on its campus in Westville. The Technology Building houses classrooms, offices, and laboratories.
We're bringing a gift to the future. This is an unusual gift, a gift that we can use and enjoy for many years, but really a gift that won't reach its true value until a long period of time has elapsed.
More than 63,000 students were enrolled throughout the Purdue system in the fall of 1995, with nearly 34,700 taking classes in West Lafayette. Almost 6,500 of those were freshmen, the fourth largest group ever at the West Lafayette campus.
Well, it's kind of energizing to be learning new things, no matter what age you are.
Meanwhile, the number of non-traditional students continues to grow. Many take advantage of special classes and services offered by Purdue's SPAN Plan program.
So when you're talking about peak-to-peak, you're talking about...
Other non-traditional students support families and work full-time while earning technology degrees at one of 10 statewide technology sites around Indiana, including the newest at the Indianapolis Airport.
Turn right 2-3 left, wind calm, clear to land.
In the fall, the Purdue Airport was the site of a student flying meet that included Purdue and 7 other universities.
Window pane is low.
Purdue aviation students can now hone their skills in a state-of-the-art Boeing 727 simulator, made possible by a $3 million donation from NASA. Purdue is the only university to own and operate such a high-level simulator for student flight training. Purdue has recently invested more than $1 million to make the West Lafayette campus more accessible for students with disabilities. The improvements include automatic door openers, curb cuts and ramps, and renovation of restroom facilities. Services were provided to 850 students with disabilities in 1995, up more than 200 from a year earlier.
You know, if you're on a health food diet, we've got exactly what you need.
Purdue faculty earned a number of teaching awards in 1995.
So let's see how the mealworms are.
Tom Turpin, professor of entomology, was named the Indiana Professor of the Year by the Council for the Advancement and Support of Education. Turpin has a special hands-on approach in teaching students about his favorite subject, bugs.
Everybody, help yourself. Dig right in. Don't play with your food. Get busy. That's it.
To them, you're someone special.
Purdue also took its teaching expertise on the road. During spring semester, an education class bused to an inner-city school in Indianapolis.
Oh, it's okay. I know. You don't like that, do you?
Meanwhile, the Nursing Center for Family Health opened a satellite clinic in Delphi, Indiana.
The goal of this clinic is to be able to provide well care or preventative care for people who are underinsured or who don't have access to medical care for whatever reason.
The Center for Collaborative Manufacturing earned a $10 million grant from the National Science Foundation. The center develops engineering tools and methods to support the exchange of technical information among companies, universities, and government laboratories. Engineering students tried some unconventional approaches to practice their people skills during a leadership workshop at nearby Camp Tecumseh. A riverboat in Louisville was one of the featured sites for student interns in Purdue's Department of Restaurant, Hotel, Institutional, and Tourism Management. These internships allow students to gain vital experience by working in actual hospitality settings. Purdue Calumet celebrated its 50th year of existence. The campus has evolved into a 12-building, 180-acre campus offering degree programs through the master's level in more than 80 areas of study.
Earth would fit into Jupiter 1,400 times.
Also celebrating its 50th birthday was Purdue School of Aeronautics and Astronautics. Distinguished alumni were invited to speak as part of the festivities, including William O'Neill, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory's project manager of the Galileo spacecraft's mission to Jupiter. As part of its 25th year celebration, the Black Cultural Center announced plans to raise $3 million toward the construction of a new Bcc building. President Beering committed a $1 million challenge grant toward the project. The BCC gives students of all races a chance to perform at a variety of groups like the Black Voices of Inspiration.
I think it's a great place for black people to get to know one another, but it's also a great place for other people from different backgrounds, different races, for it to be a place where walls can be broken down, bridges can be made.
Tony Zamora, director of the center for 22 years, retired early in the year. He was honored by many returning alumni at special homecoming activities.
Pretty good.
Orville Redenbacher passed away at the age of 88. The Popcorn King was a 1928 graduate of Purdue and served as a lifelong ambassador for the university. New faces at Purdue include Dennis Saviano, who was named Dean of the School of Consumer and Family Sciences.
Often our engineering graduates were the first one in the entire family.
Richard Schwartz, former head of the School of Electrical and Computer Engineering, was named Dean of the Schools of Engineering. He also spoke at a Fall Alumni Association breakfast. David Henson is the new Vice President for Student Services. He replaces Richard Grace, who was named Director of the new Undergraduate Studies program.
As we experience a highly sophisticated technological advance of going into space.
Doug Christiansen was named Director of Admissions. In the fall, the Office of Admissions and University Development Office arranged for high-achieving potential Purdue students to view a launch of the Space Shuttle Atlantis.
And liftoff of Space Shuttle Atlantis.
Oh my God. I did not expect it to go up. I was like, ready there.
Yeah, okay, I see it.
Two more like this.
One of the busiest places on campus is the Purdue Recreational Gymnasium, or COREC, which attracted a record 1.1 million exercise enthusiasts in 1995. One of the newer activities is called Step Aerobics.
Hit her, go, hit her harder.
Students also had fun at a fall sports fest sponsored by Sports Illustrated. Activities included sumo wrestling, human bowling, and Purdue Pete enjoyed a bungee cord run. This year's Rube Goldberg contest required teams to devise the most complicated methods possible to turn on a radio. Purdue's Carey Quad entry won both the local and national events.
Paul.
The Purdue trap team won its 11th consecutive collegiate national championship. Club members practice at a firing range in a restricted area near the Purdue airport. And 1995 was definitely the year to look over the Purdue All-American Marching Band. The band won the most prestigious award college marching bands can receive, the Sudler Trophy. The trophy winner is based on high musical standards, marching routines, and advancing the field of collegiate marching bands. Purdue is the first university without a school of music to win the award. The band showcased new Golden Girl Dawn Vardaman, a senior in management from Eden Prairie, Minnesota. The new girl in black, Sherry Reichard, and Silver Twins Aaron Griffin and Alicia Stenger also made their solo debuts in the fall. The Purdue Glee Club again traveled near and far to spread good cheer and song. In the fall, students got a chance to see them perform outdoors at Slater Center. Mechanical engineering senior Stephen Katzaros was a winner in the B.F. Goodrich Collegiate Inventors Program. Katzaros invented the suspended pivotal bike storage rack, which uses ceiling space that's normally wasted.
That communication skill, both verbal and written, is critical.
The Old Masters program brought successful alumni back to campus to share their wisdom. Among this year's participants was Ann Stock, social secretary at the White House. Another Washington, D.C. official came to campus in January. Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor gave students insight into the history of the Supreme Court. Hundreds of alumni returned to campus for Gala Week festivities sponsored by the Purdue Alumni Association. It was a chance to reminisce with old friends, sample some Purdue Creamery-style ice cream, and march in the ever-popular class parade to John Purdue's grave.
To celebrate the wonderful contributions of the over 300,000 living alumni whose work and whose contributions indeed have been made possible by the visionary John Purdue.
It was also a chance to brave blustery weather at the Grand Prix race. Senior Ian Smith of Frankfort, Indiana, established a new milestone by winning the 50-mile event for the third straight year. After the race, some students ignored chilly temperatures to slide into fun.
All right!
The Founders Day banquet that night featured comments from President Stephen Beering.
It is difficult to comprehend the energy, creativity, activity, and never-ending potential that thrive at this university. And yet we see the outcomes all around us in the thousands of students who built the foundation for a good life here, in the new knowledge that our faculty creates, and in the care with which the staff manages this huge enterprise.
The night was capped off by a dance featuring the Purdue Jazz Band in the Union Ballrooms. For homecoming, the Alumni Association sponsored a pregame meal in Mollenkopf Athletic Center. Alumni Association Executive Director Larry Prio welcomed the hundreds of participants who had to get there extra early because of the morning game time.
Set! Purdue 45! Purdue 45! Hot!
Members of the 50th anniversary team showed at halftime that they've still got what it takes. The Alumni Association co-sponsored the Purdue Musical Organization's Oktoberfest show held that evening. Jack Carl, Senior Associate Director of the Alumni Association, found a special way to inform each of this year's winners of special Boilermaker Awards about their honors.
The prestigious and coveted 1995 Special Boilermaker
The awards given to faculty and staff for outstanding work with students went to Associate Registrar Camilla Lawson, Mary Alice Niebold, Assistant Dean in the School of Consumer and Family Sciences, and Earl Notstein, Associate Dean in the School of Liberal Arts. The awards were officially presented at a football game. Purdue alum and former astronaut Neil Armstrong was serenaded by the Purduettes during a trip to San Francisco in January. The trip included members of the University Development Office and Alumni Executive Director Larry Prio. Alumni volunteers from across the country gathered at Purdue in September for the annual Club Officers Conference. Outstanding Alumni Club Awards were presented to the Purdue clubs in Du Bois County, Johnson County, and Indianapolis, as well as the Purdue Club of Chicago and the Purdue Club of Southwest Florida. The Alumni Association sponsored a send-off for graduating seniors as they picked up their final grades at Hovde Hall. Among those honored at commencement ceremonies was John Hicks, Senior Vice President Emeritus, who received an honorary doctorate. Hicks was also on hand for the dedication of Purdue's new softball facility, providing his always dramatic rendition of Casey at the bat.
Now all the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Somewhere in this favored land, the sun is shining bright. Somewhere bands are playing. Somewhere hearts are light. Somewhere men are laughing. Somewhere children shout. There was no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey had struck out.
There was joy in Purdueville when the baseball team qualified for the Big Ten tournament with a fourth-place finish. The Boilermakers upset conference champion Ohio State in the first game of the tourney before being eliminated. Joey Brazel took over the reins of Purdue's volleyball program. She replaced Carol Dewey, who retired from coaching after 20 seasons. 9 new inductees to Purdue's Athletic Hall of Fame, including former quarterback Mike Phipps, were introduced to a football crowd. The women's basketball team won its second straight Big Ten co-championship. The Boilermakers won at Ohio State in the final regular season game to share the title with Penn State. Stacy Lovelace became the third All-American to be coached by Lynn Dunn, joining Joy Holmes and Michelle Joseph. Purdue won first and second round games in the NCAA tournament and then upset Vanderbilt, the top seed in the West, on some last-second heroics by Janan Rowland. Purdue lost to Stanford in the regional finals, denying the Boilermakers a second straight trip to the Final Four. Gene Cady once again captured Big Ten and National Coach of the Year honors as the men's team again confounded the experts and won its second straight conference championship. Seniors Conzo Martin and Matt Waddell led the team. Purdue knocked off Michigan on national television in the last regular season game to win the title. After a narrow win over Wisconsin Green Bay, Purdue was eliminated from the NCAA tourney on a controversial last-second play against Memphis. The Big Dog returned to Mackey Arena for an exhibition game in October. Glenn Robinson, who passed up his final year of eligibility to become the NBA's #1 draft pick, brought his Milwaukee Bucks to town to play the Indiana Pacers before a sellout crowd. While Robinson dominated the 1994 Purdue sports scene, the honor in '95 belonged to senior running back Mike Alstock. The A-Train rewrote the record books for single-season rushing, career rushing, and the career total for touchdowns and points. Alstock performed his feats in front of new running backs coach Leroy Keys, who previously held many of those records.
Trester going up top on the slant, has a man complete.
Alstock and the Boilermakers capped a 4-6-1 season with a 51-14 rout of Indiana in the battle for the Old Oaken Bucket. Alstock had 264 yards and 25 carries and scored 3 times.
Superman is wearing black and gold today.
Alstock was cheered by an adoring crowd a couple of weeks later at a men's basketball game as he hoisted the bucket at its newly acquired P. This particular P traveled nearly 6 million miles in 1993 on a space shuttle flight, courtesy of 2 Purdue graduates on board. Like the sparkling new bell tower, the A-Train was a tower of strength for Purdue students, alumni, and friends in 1995.
I hope you enjoyed viewing this year's newsreel. To those of you who are members of the Purdue Alumni Association, thanks for your support. To those of you who are not members, I suggest and encourage you to support your university by joining the Purdue Alumni Association. Together, we can help Purdue maintain and improve upon its image as a world-class leading university. Hail Purdue!